let's look at this example. Okay, 4 steps, right? Let's start with the data. What do we know? Now we're on to the normals question, okay? So x squared is equal to 4y, which tells you what? A equals 1, okay? So now from that I can write out what my coordinates for P and Q are, right? P and Q are. P is at 2AP, AP squared. Being that that's the value of A, I've got this. Yep, good. Same for Q. Okay, what other data do I have? Good. So I've got this coordinate, 0, minus 2. PQ passes through 0, minus 2. Okay. Now I don't think anyone had troubles here, and we've already shown how to prove the equation of a chord. Use 2-point form. Okay. So where you should land up is, what do you conclude after you get that equation and you sub this in? What do you get? Really simple equation.
PQ.
Good. You get this, okay? So this corresponds to this guy, right, which we sub in all the time in order to simplify out or try and get rid of one parameter and so on, okay? Great. That's the data. Now what was the next step? Parametric equations, right? Okay, now I'm not going to take any more shortcuts. It's the point of intersection between the normals, okay? So just like before, we found the equations of the tangents and then we solve simultaneously. Let's do it for the normals, okay? So I'll put in all my lines of working just so you can know that you're on the right track. But it should start off by saying, well, what's the normal at P? Okay. So, okay, just like the tangent, I know the point it passes through and I know its gradient. So I'll use the same form. Okay. Coordinates are fairly straightforward. Y minus P squared. The x coordinate is also simple, minus 2p. Now, be careful, because I've seen a few of you forget this. The gradient, we want it to be perpendicular to the tangent, right? So it won't be p, it'll be minus 1 on p. Okay, you've got to get the reciprocal, you've got to make sure it's negative, okay? All right, now we can tidy this up a little bit, right? I can, that's minus x on p. What's that going to be? That's just, yeah, plus 2, right, double negative. And there's a p squared over here. Okay, that looks terrible, but that's as simple as it gets. Okay, likewise, at q, minus x on that parameter, and that parameter squared. Okay, so now what? Where am I up to? Okay, so I want to find the point of intersection. Okay, now again, this is just a bit of algebra work. Okay, so where do you get up to when you solve for x? What x coordinate do you get?
Minus 2p minus q.
What?
P plus 2?
I cos.
Minus 2p.
Do you want me to do the working to show you?
Yes, please.
Should I do the working?
Once you end up there, can
Actually, you know, I will do the working because a few of you have come to me with questions about like, how did I get this wrong? Okay, so let's go ahead. It's these two lines here, right? So what am I going to get on each side? If I have minus 1 over p to p squared, and the same thing over here, okay? The 2's cancel, and at the same time, I'm also going to rearrange, get my squares together, and get these fractions together. Okay, I think that'll be making it easier to put together, right? So let's get the squares on this side. Cancel that, take the q squared over. In the same way, I'm going to add the, whoops, missing an x, add this minus 1 over px onto this side. Okay, yeah?
Did I that thing where you got 2pq is equal to p plus q? Where'd you get that?
That's the previous question. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Though, the analog to that, like that relationship between p and q, is this. Where did I get it from? I found the equation of the chord, and I subbed in this point, because the chord has to pass through it. Okay, so that's how you get like that kind of relationship, right? Okay, is that okay so far? Yep.
yeah.
All right, now, what was I after? This is, I'm getting towards a parametric equation for x, so I can factorize it over here. Some of you got to this point, and you're like, I've clearly done something wrong, because this looks terrible, okay? You haven't done anything wrong. It does look terrible, but you've got to stay with it, okay? So how would you go about this? Because you've got these fractions here, right? In order to get them to interact with these, you just got to put them together, right? You just got to add them up. So if I have x over here, what am I going to have? This is going to be q minus p on pq. Is that right? And this is p minus q, p plus q, right? Yes? Okay. So what I'm going to do here is this p minus q and this q minus p are almost the same. What's the difference? Minus 1. So to cancel them, I'm going to have to put a minus sign somewhere. It doesn't matter which side it's on, okay? But I'm going to put it over there because I want the x on its own. Lastly, to isolate the x, what have I got to do? This is 1 over pq, so just multiply through by pq. So this is what I have, okay? But as some of you have noticed, I've already worked out what pq is, right? Okay, so done. Come in. I'm strong. Okay. Right. Is everyone satisfied so far? Is that okay?
Do you have to get rid of one?
I will shortly, but not yet. I'm done. That is a parametric equation for x. Okay? How do I get a parametric equation for y? Okay, so get this. Okay. Now, hold on a second. Let me find where I'm up to. I feel like I'm missing a page.
Sub that back into the equation of any of the normals, right?
Yep. I'm trying to go back over working because I think I put my page in the wrong order and there's a simpler way to do it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Oh, no. No, it works. It works.
That would be it.
To get the Y.
Yeah, it's not as bad. It's not as bad as I thought. I was just thinking of something else. Okay, so what's my equation for y? It's this. Okay, is that right? Yeah, that's this, yeah? That's one of the equations of the normals. Doesn't matter which one, okay? Now, what interests me is, I'm going to substitute x into this in a second, right? But I have a couple of different ways to write x, and even though this is simpler, it might not be the best one to use to put in this equation. Can anyone see why?
Because then you can't cancel out the p.
Exactly right. So this previous line, okay, actually is more helpful to me because I have to divide x by p, right? So I might as well take some form of x that's got an extra p in it because we'll just get rid of it. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. So I'm going to substitute x into this line from this second last line here. This one, okay? So, minus 1 over p times that. Minus 1 over p is going to get rid of the minus p on the front. So I'm going to end up with this. Okay, is that alright? And what have I got here? I've got a pq, q squared, 2, and a p squared. I already know what pq is, right? So p squared plus q squared plus 4. Okay, happy? So now I have parametric equation for x, tick, parametric equation for y, tick. How do I put them together? This is a standard one. We've done this one a few times. I'm going to square x, right? Okay, so let's take this equation. What should I call it? I haven't numbered any of these equations. I'm just going to call it 1 for now. if I take equation 1, it'll probably be easiest to square if I divide through first. Okay, so I'm going to divide through by minus a half. Okay, is that alright? That'll give me p plus q on the other side, and now I'll square. Square, square. Okay? Because it's squared, don't worry about the negative, right? So x squared on 4, right? P squared plus q squared plus 2pq. Alright, now, hold on a second. I know what all these pieces are, right? P squared plus q squared, look back a couple of lines, that's y minus 4, isn't it? Y minus 4. See that? Yes? Not slowly at me, or have I totally lost you?
Can we change 2pq to 4?
Yeah, we totally can.
Right-hand side's equal.
Okay, so I've got an x squared on 4. That all cancels out, so I've got this. So now I land here. Now,
No, that's what you. What? That's not funny.
Why you do this to me? You know. Okay, now stop. All right, let's pause. In case you're not tracking with us, right? Where we've landed is back where we started. This is the equation of the original parabola. Okay. Now stop. Assuming you trust me or your own working, and that this is right. Okay. What does that mean? The answer to the question. What's the question telling us? If you take these particular normals, okay, right? What do they pass through? That chords through 0 minus 2. Okay, so I'm picking a particular pair of normals, right? What that means is when you look at where they intersect is back on the parabola. You know, something like, I mean, this is not perfectly accurate, but something like this. Well, yeah, you get the idea. Right angle, right angle. Okay? And of course I can move them around, and as I move them, they keep on intersecting on the parabola. Okay? Yeah.
Is that the y coordinate? I feel like that's the normal.
The y coordinate's up here.
Alright.
Alright, now,